My name is Amelia. What I'm about to share isn't easy to admit. It's a story about emotions that blurred judgment, about responsibility tested in a quiet moment, and about how fragile the line between right and wrong can truly be. That weekend, my husband Greg left for a short business trip to Los Angeles. Our home sat near the California shoreline, where wide glass windows welcomed the morning sun and the constant rhythm of waves. I loved the peaceful sound of the ocean. Though when Greg traveled, the house always felt larger and lineal-ier. To distract myself, I decided to spend the morning cleaning. Soft jazz played in the background while fresh ocean air drifted through the open windows. I moved through the living room, dusting shelves and rearranging small decorations Greg treasured. That's when I felt it. The awareness that someone was watching me. I turned and I saw Ryan, Greg's son from his previous marriage, standing quietly near the doorway. He had just woken up, hair slightly messy, eyes still adjusting to the light. "Good morning," I said, keeping my tone light. "Morning," he replied. There was nothing unusual in the words, yet something in the silence between us felt different. That day, he sat on the couch while I continued cleaning, and we talked casually about his internship plans and upcoming projects. Then it happened. As I reached to adjust a frame on the top shelf, the small stool beneath me shifted. I lost balance. Before I could fall, Ryan rushed forward and caught me. For a brief second, everything stopped. His hands steadied me, firm but careful. Our faces were closer than they had ever been before. I could hear both our breathing in the quiet room. It was only a few seconds, yet it felt longer. I stepped away quickly, offering a nervous laugh. "Good timing," I said, but the air had already changed. We sat down afterward, neither of us speaking for a moment. The ocean outside continued its endless rhythm, sunlight pouring across the floor. The silence wasn't awkward. It was charged, filled with something unspoken. "I like mornings like this," I said softly, "when everything feels calm." "Me too," Ryan replied, "especially when you're not alone." His words lingered. I should have recognized the shift. I should have created distance right then. But emotions don't always arrive with warnings. There was a look in his eyes, not reckless, not careless, but searching. And in that moment, I felt seen in a way I hadn't expected. We were standing too close to something neither of us fully understood. When he leaned slightly closer, I didn't step back fast enough. What followed wasn't wild or impulsive. It was quiet and slow, driven more by emotion than intention, and that was what made it dangerous. Even as it happened, a voice inside me whispered that this was wrong. That lines once crossed cannot simply be redrawn. Then reality shattered the moment. The front door opened. "Amelia, I'm home." Greg's voice cut through the silence like a wake-up call. Ryan stepped away instantly. My heart pounded so hard I thought it would give us away. Greg walked in smiling, unaware of the emotional storm that had just swept through his living room. He hugged me, warm and familiar. I forced myself to breathe normally. Ryan stood nearby, quiet, composed, but I could see the conflict in his expression, guilt, confusion, something unresolved. The rest of the evening passed in careful normalcy. Coffee was made, stories were shared, laughter filled the space that only minutes earlier had felt dangerously fragile, but inside me, nothing felt normal. In the days that followed, tension lived between us like a shadow. We avoided obvious closeness. We avoided eye contact. When Greg was present, yet silence spoke louder than words ever could. One afternoon, while Greg was out with friends, Ryan approached me in the backyard. "You're avoiding me," he said quietly. "Because I had to, because if I didn't, everything we had built as a family would collapse. We can't let this happen again." I told him it wasn't easy. His eyes reflected everything I was trying to suppress. Confusion, longing, regret, but responsibility had to outweigh emotion. "This family matters more," I said. He nodded, though it clearly cost him something. And it cost me something too. That night, staring at the dark ocean beyond our window, I realized something important. Desire can feel powerful in the moment, but consequences last far longer than feelings. The next morning, I sat across from him at the kitchen table. "Ryan," I said gently but firmly, "we have to end this before it becomes something we can't fix." He nodded again, and that was the moment we both chose responsibility over impulse. The feelings didn't vanish overnight. Emotions rarely do. But distance became our protection. Looking back, I understand now how loneliness can blur judgment, how silence can grow into something dangerous if left unchecked. But I also learned this. Love isn't proven in moments of passion. It's proven in the decisions we make when temptation tries to rewrite everything. And sometimes the strongest thing you can do is step